What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we were going to be doing a transfer of the eSIM and data from my original Galaxy Watch Ultra over to the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2. Let's check it out. So I've never done this. You're going to be learning along the way with me. I'm pretty confident that this is going to offer me to do a restore from backups that I have online for this watch, but let's jump into it and see what happens. I have not powered this watch up yet. There we go. That was weird. I had to hold both in to power it up. Now, I normally wear my watches in this orientation, but it's not set up yet, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to start off the process having the watch oriented like this. I imagine the first boot up is going to take a little bit longer on the new watch, so we're going to give that a minute to kind of sort itself out. So I'm going to try going down bottom here and clicking add to see if it'll find the watch. Boom, I came out right down bottom. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it's making sure that's the right one, which it obviously is. Downloading the software. I'm guessing there's an update. 154 megs, I went pretty darn quick. So it's asking me to restore from this watch to that watch, which is exactly what I want to do. Or you could set up as a new watch. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and click next. So it has my previous selections in here. I always recommend agreeing to as little of these as possible. I don't want to send them anything I don't need to send them. So it looks like you have to do everything. You have to do the top two. Agree to automatic updates. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's do some automatic updates. It's showing you all the access it's going to have on your phone. And that's to things like your contacts and all that stuff. So when you separate from your phone, like say you're going for a jog and you want to make a phone call, your contacts and everything will be syncing in the background here. So far, pretty straightforward. I'd say it's right on par with like an Apple experience. The Apple probably would have picked up on the watch right away. A little bit of information about Hey Google and the Gemini. I'll know my profile is moved over when I see that display invert, because as you can see here, like I said, I have my buttons on the left-hand side. Now they give you the option here to install some of the pre-recommended things that they have. I'm going to continue with what I've got on there now. Now this is going to do the smart switch. I imagine this can facilitate the migration of my eSIM over. Yeah, it's asking me what I want to move over. Call logs, connections, all that stuff. We're going to do that. I'm kind of surprised how long this took. We're about 5 minutes into it since I last paused it, and it finally brought over a bunch of my settings. So you can see that it now recognizes that I want the left-hand orientation. It's still doing the home screen and the settings. I don't understand why it's taking so long, but like I said, it's been about 5 minutes and we're still here. A lot of the other stuff finished. I imagine the watch faces are going to go really quickly. Yeah, and boom, there we go. It all finished just now. So that's all done. What I am curious now to see about is how it does the eSIM transfer. One of the things you're gonna have to do is make sure you turn off SIM protection when you go to move the SIM from your old phone to your new one. So for me, I had to go into the T-Mobile app under settings, find the phone number for my watch itself, and turn off that SIM protection. Now, if we go back into the Wear app, I'm connected to both watches now, right? So I should be able to go to the new watch, go here, mobile plans, set up a mobile plan, click next. So I'm going to try again. Interesting. Move your plan to your new watch. It's going to do that. Move plan. And that says T-Mobile set up successfully. Now, after it did that, it did ask me to allow T-Mobile to install an app. I imagine that's probably the eSIM or whatever handles the eSIM. It did that, and then it did the restart. Your carrier might treat it a little bit differently. Typically, you can call up the provider, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, whatever, and they will walk you through this process if you do get stuck. But for the most part, the app kind of does walk you through it. It could be a little cleaner. I'm not going to lie. It should be a solid step in the setup process itself. And it should be something that where if it sees you have two watches and you have one of them connected to service and the other not, it should be in there to just transfer service and be a little bit more obvious. But it looks like the mobile plans button inside of the app did kind of push me in the right direction. It seems like it called to the T-Life app for T-Mobile that I do have installed on there to kind of facilitate the transfer. So, and there you have it. your new watch set up on your existing phone with your eSIM moved from one to the other. Don't forget, if you're sending this back to Samsung, like they had a deal going on where I was able to get $250 off the new watch by sending back my old watch. Make sure you wipe it. Not that there's really anything crazy on there that you need to worry about anything from Samsung, but there is a way to reset to factory defaults. If you go into the old watch, unlock it, and then pull down, go to settings, and go to general, then go to reset, all the way down, click reset. I click on remove all mobile plans. This way nothing is carrying from here to that phone. Click next. And now what it will do is it will reset the watch back to factory defaults. And you just basically give it your code again. In this case, your pattern, and it'll reset the watch. And this way you don't have to worry about any information or anything lingering from your old setup to the new setup. And then while that's rebooting, we can check out the new bands here. The connection seems really solid, really sturdy. Oh, I really like it. Oh, it's super comfy. That new rubber, whatever they're using, feels really solid. It feels very high quality for a sub $1,000 watch. Obviously, it's not anything that's super fancy, but it does feel really nice. And the materials look really good. I like the dark aesthetic of the gray that this watch comes in. The screen seems super bright and very responsive. Obviously, it's huge for those of you that are new to the Ultra line of watches. It took a little getting used to, but I prefer it now. I like the battery life. The connectivity is also really great. If it's anything like the old watch when I'm out running or out doing something, or I just leave my phone at home because I'm running to the store real quick, having everything available on this watch via the LTE connection, the Google Wallet, all that stuff is phenomenal. That's one thing that you'll probably have to transfer over again from a new is the Google Wallet itself. So thank you so much for checking out this product with me today and helping me get it set up. If you have any questions, like I said, reach out to your carrier. They'll be able to walk you through any problems you might have. And I do notice that I do remember that sometimes when you're transferring the SIM from your old watch to your new watch, it might take a few minutes for it to register on the networks and set up. If you're like me and doing this in a dark basement that does not have really good connectivity, take a step outside where you have actual connectivity to a 4G or 5G tower, and that should help a little bit as well. Patience will go a long way with setting up the watches. For some reason, the watches are the most frustrating part with the carriers, but if you stick with it, it's not that big a pain in the butt. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. That really helps out. I appreciate you all, and have a great day. Peace.